Know that a lot of people struggle with this idea that there is just one man who can receive revelation for the entire church. And I think there are probably a crazy number of reasons why people struggle with this, but I want to talk about just a couple of them for this week. I think one of the reasons that people struggle with this so thoroughly is because they have seen positions of power be abused throughout history. They have seen this in the political sphere. They have seen this at home. They have seen this in the religious sphere. This even happens in our own church. Now, I'm not specifically talking about the prophet, but leadership in general, that power can be abused in positions of authority. We are all imperfect, and so we have all abused the power that we've been given at different times. So for a second, I want to look at this through the perspective of someone who doesn't believe, because I think there can be power in helping those who don't believe when we look at it through their eyes. I think one of the reasons this is so difficult is because they see a man with a lot of power, one who will face very few consequences. It's not a democracy. There are very few forms of redress if you disagree with the prophet. And so it can feel very complicated when you feel very differently than this prophet who is supposedly receiving revelation. Now, I think it's important to look at it from that perspective so that we can understand where someone's coming from and be able to meet them where they're at. I have also learned how significant it is to look at it from a standpoint of belief. The scriptures teach us that understanding follows belief. It's not that belief follows understanding, like, oh, I understand what's happening now I believe. No, when you believe first, that's when you start to understand things. When you're looking at the gospel through a lens of belief, you start to understand. And so I want to look at this idea of one prophet receiving revelation from a standpoint of belief. There are a couple of principles that I want to talk about in relation to this idea of there being one prophet that receives revelation for the whole church.